Alright, today we're doing lesson 75 homework. I'm going to read each and every one of these, write out the problem, and then you need to finish solving. Number 1. I'm on the wrong page. We're on page 521. Number 1. Pears cost 59 cents per pound. How much would 4 pounds of pears cost? So we have 59 cents 4 times. You can pause now and solve. Number 2, find the perimeter and the area of this rectangle. The rectangle has a length of 6 and a width of 4. Perimeter is adding all the sides. Area is multiplying length times width. You can pause now and solve. Number 3, there were 360 books on the floor. Diaxa put the 1/4 of the books on the table. How many books did Diaxa put on the table? So to find a fourth, you divide by the denominator. We're dividing the number 360 divided by 4. And if you remember, we can draw a square and give it 4 spaces. You're going to put a number in each of these boxes, and each of them will equal 1/4. Part B asks I lost my place. Part B asks how many books are still on the floor, and that is going to be the remaining 3/4, but they want to know the total number. You should pause now and solve. Number 4. What percent of the books in problem 3 were left on the floor? So they're asking you 3/4 equals what percent? Pause and solve now. Number 5. To what decimal number is the arrow pointing? That's a very small arrow on number 5. To what decimal number is the arrow pointing? I'm going to show you that. Okay. I'm going to count the number of spaces between the number 2 and 3 on the number line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, where the arrow is, 8, 9, 10. So the decimal is 7/10, but it is a mixed number of 2 and 7/10. We write that number as a fraction as well, and you need to finish that. Number 6. 272 students attend one elementary school in a city. 319 students attend another elementary school. Estimate the total number of students attending these schools by rounding each number to the nearest 100. So we need to round 272 to the hundreds place and 319 to the hundreds place. Then you need to add. Pause and solve now. Number 7. What fraction of the set is shaded? I see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces in that set, and there are some shaded on number 7. You're going to draw this as a fraction. The number of pieces altogether goes on the bottom, the denominator. The number of pieces that are shaded are the numerator. Number 8. 1 quart of milk is how many ounces? So we know that 1 cup equals 8 ounces, and we know that 4 cups equals 1 quart. So if we multiply the number of cups by the number of ounces, we can measure quarts using ounces. So 4 times 8, you need to solve that to finish. You should pause now and complete that problem. Number 9. 1 quart is a quarter of a gallon. So 1 quart is what percent of a gallon? Now they're asking you 1/4 equals what percent? And you should think of number 4 and number 9 in quarters. Think of them in quarters. 1 out of 4 quarters equals what percent of a dollar? Number 10. Use the information in the bar graph below to answer parts A and B. Here's the book. Looks like we are having favorite vegetables of the class. The options are broccoli, carrots, and green beans. And the number of students is what we're looking at. A. Carrots are the favorite vegetable of how many students? You'll notice that it is not located right on a line. It's between the number 4 and the number 6. We know that the number between 4 and 6, we know what that is. I want you to write that on A and make sure you put a label. I want a label there. B, altogether, how many students said broccoli or carrots are their favorite vegetable? You need to add 2 of those numbers for the total. Number 11. The 8 a.m. temperature was -5 degrees Fahrenheit by 3 p.m. The temperature had increased 10 degrees. What was the 3 p.m. temperature? So remember, you're going to, on this thermometer, you're down here at -5. You're going to go up 10 degrees. But don't forget, you count up from 5, and then you get to 0. And then you count up 5 more. Your answer is not going to be 10 degrees. What is 10 more than -5? Number 12. Describe the number of degrees and the direction of a turn that would move this letter B to an upright position. This is today's lesson. We'll talk more about it whenever I return. We did talk about how we can turn an object or a shape, and we have not talked about the number of degrees that we would be turning that shape to make it sit straight up. There are different kinds of turns. This turn is a 90-degree turn. I'm just going to give you that answer for free. 90-degree turn. And the direction of the turn is clockwise, the way a clock would move. Number 13, 14, and 15 are set up for you. You should pause and solve those now. Okay. Number 16 on page 527, 716 divided by 8. I'd like to solve this one with you. You're going to find the number of 8s that will fit into 71. What times 8 is close to 71? 8 times 8 is 64, which is as close as we can get without going over. Subtract, remember, divide, multiply, subtract, bring it down. Subtract, 11 minus 4 is 7. 6 minus 6 is nothing. Now bring down your 6. How many 8s are in 76? We know that 8 times 9 is 72. Subtract, and I have 4 left over. It kind of looks like it's part of the answer. It is not. Remainder 4. A lot of us are forgetting to write this number up at the top as a remainder. I've not been counting that wrong yet, but you do need to be careful of that. Number 2, or number 17 rather, is going to have a 0 in the answer. Number 18, 434 divided by 7. What times 7 is 42? Number 19, let's see, 513 divided by 6. This has a remainder. Number 20, 270 divided by 9. 21, 267 divided by 3. 22, you need to isolate the variable. We've been talking about that. It's a big word. We want to get the n by itself to find out what n is equal to. So to do that, I'm going to cancel the 7.5, the 7 and 5/10, by doing the opposite. I need to add 7 and 5/10, and now it's gone. But I have to treat both sides equally. So I need to add 7 and 5/10 to this side as well. So now you can solve and tell me what n is equal to. 23 is set up. 24, you need to be careful of. We are still missing this answer. I would write the 0 in my answer, mark it out, and now solve. 26, 3a is equal to, pretend there are parentheses around this, 3a is equal to 60. And to find this answer, you will need to divide. Remember, this exponent means to multiply this number that many times. So it's 3 times 3 and 2 times 2 times 2. And we are going to subtract them. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 2 is 4. Times 2 is 8. Now you need to subtract them. 28, how many degrees is a 3/4 turn? So we know that 1/4 turn is equal to 90 degrees. So 3/4 of a turn is 93 times. So add that, and that will be your answer. Make sure you add a degree symbol. 29, it's on page 528. Which segment appears to be perpendicular to segment BC? perpendicular makes an L. So BC, perpendicular could not be AB. It's diagonal. Think about, is it AB or AC? You choose one. Which one makes an L? Draw a triangle similar to, but not congruent to, ABC. So, the same shape, different size. Finally, number 30. During their professional baseball careers, pitcher Nolan Ryan struck out 5,714 batters. Pitcher Steve Carlton struck out 4,136 batters. How many more batters did Nolan Ryan strike out? We're going to find the difference. So 5,714, find the difference in that number and 4,136. And you do not need to explain. Okay, go ahead and complete this work, put it in the math tray, and be on your best behavior.